Hello again, it's Lock Noob, and in front of us is a lock which I absolutely love. This kind of lock really appeals to me for reasons I'll explain in a minute. But this lock has a history. This was sent to me by the fantastic Leon's Lockpad. Please do go check out Leon's channel. But before then, I believe that this was sent to Leon by Potty314 or Potty Pie, who I absolutely love and was a big influence on my channel. And please go check out Potty's channel as well. But I believe that Potty was sent this by the legend that is West Coast Picks. So go check out West Coast Picks' channel. I'll try and leave links in the description for all of them. All fantastic pickers and just great members of the community in their own right. So why does this appeal to me, this lock? Well, it's because it's got two independent locking mechanisms. I am just drawn to locks with more than one locking mechanism, whether it's a dual custody lock with two keyed cores that are the same, like a safety deposit box or something like that. Or locks like this where they just have two different modes of entry. I don't know why they appeal to me. I guess it's because they're quite rare, but if I ever see one like it, I just have to have it for my collection. So what are the two methods of entry? Well, clearly this is some kind of cam lock which sits flush against the door. There is, well, I've removed this from the back, but there is a little latch which goes on here which can be lifted by the cam mechanism at the back. And that turns through either operation with a key or moving this dial, which can only be moved if the combination is right. So I'll put the combination which is right just by moving that top number, and you can see, there you go, the back of the cam lock moving and the dial moving. Let's lock that back up, just move it a position or two, and now it can't move, but you can use a master key or the override key, push that in, and that will turn as well. You see the back of the lock turning there. So two very cool methods. And this is a very interesting lock because this, remember, will be on the outside of a door, a cabinet, something like that. If you put the code in, you don't have to have the door open or access any part of the back of the lock to do this. You can press this button down and set a new code. So that there actually disengages the, it's like a clutch mechanism on the inside. You reset the wheels to what you want, let go, and you've changed the code. So it's odd that that is on the outside of the lock, not because it's particularly dangerous, you can't press it down at all if it's not the right code, but it's just strange that it would be, you might forget one day once the code's in and press it down thinking that that is the way that you would set the code and accidentally maybe lock yourself out by resetting the code and not remembering what it was. But that's okay. This lock actually has a weird little party trick. Never seen this before on any other combination lock. Is if you do get a lock out because you can't remember your code, and I suppose this would be very useful for people who want to set their code to what they want. Somebody could come along who has this master key. Maybe these are all on, I don't know, say you have 100 lockers and you can't remember your code for some reason. The person who has the master key would come along, unlock the lock, and then take the whole thing off the door, exposing these holes at the back, which is where this odd little pokey stick comes in. And it really is just that. It's just a probe. What you do is you put it here, and it's feeling for a gap in the back of one of the wheels, which is actually not underneath where the dial is, but to the side, but it's attached, and you turn it until the probe sinks and you can't turn it anymore. What's actually happening, and you won't be able to see very well, but it exposes a hole, a marker on the opposite side to where the true number is. There we go. And you should find that that is the actual number, and this button will press down. We'll get it right. There we go. Ah, there, that opens and the button does press. Good. So very cool. So if you do get a lock out, you can actually remember your number by having the lock removed and probed, and then of course you can press that, set it to 4 zeros or whatever it is, and then tell the person once you've reinstalled the lock to go and then put their code in. So it's yeah, just a cool little lock. Like I said, I imagine it's for cabinets and lockers and things like that, where you might want to have a suite of these where people can make their own codes, and then somebody has like a master or override key so they can control all the locks, make sure that people don't actually end up permanently locking a cabinet out. Okay, so let's do two things. We'll do how to decode the lock first, and then we will pick the cam. So decoding the lock, well, the first thing I thought I'd try and do is feel down the side of the wheels with a little shim like this, and just see if there's anything that I could feel in terms of like a notch. Sometimes you can feel a little notch in the side of the wheels, and I tried both sides on all the wheels and there isn't anything there. There is a hole, naturally, that's how that little spiky probe thing works on the back side, but the hole is around here, and unless you have something very thin, very flexible, and even then I think you probably struggle to reach where that hole is in the other side of the lock. But that's okay, because decoding it isn't particularly hard. You don't apply tension by pressing the button. You actually apply tension by tensioning this dial here. That actually, if I press it, can you see the wheels move slightly? So you can see that there is a linkage between here and here. And what you're going to do is, and I'm using a goat wrench, is to save your fingers, just test each wheel for which one is resistant. So you can see that these ones are relatively loose, but this one is stiff. So we just go along until it loosens up, and now you can see that it was stiff, and now it's loose. Now we know the combination already, but you should visually be able to see what's happening. And I'll put moderate tension on here. Okay, still, so that's loose. This is still loose. That's still relatively loose, but this one is tight. So go round. Wow, that is tight. You can see how to really push this wheel now. You just push it until it loosens off. There, see how it's now around that number? Really easy, and I don't have to like push at it. So if that's probably the right number, and this is, one of these should now be tight where it was loose before. So, oh yeah, look, that one's still loose. This one, not so much. So let's turn this one. Oh wow. It seems we had this number already in. I didn't notice that, but by turning this to a 7, it's automatically opened. I have to admit, I didn't actually look at the numbers first. I didn't know that was already in the gate. If I'd known, I'd probably changed it. So I only had to decode the top one and the bottom one. This is already in the true gate, and there aren't any false gates on these dials. And then once I turned this one to the right number, I can now turn this to open position and the closed position, which is really cool. So now let's talk about how we unlock this tubular lock mechanism. So I do have a key, and you can put it in and turn it, but it's only turning the dial because that is the correct number still. So if I actually scramble it, you'll see that that no longer moves, and it's only the key which will move in the keyway if it's correctly positioned. There you go. And so that's what we're going to replicate, that the code isn't there and that we can pick this tubular lock. I'm going to use this Sparrow's goat wrench and just insert it into the keyway like this, and just use a probe. This is a broken key extractor I repurposed. And what we're going to do is, there's 7 pins in here, none of the security pins. We're just going to go along and just gently tap on the top of these pins. And if they're sticky, you'll feel them, and you just push them down. Just go along the pins one at a time. Nothing on 1. Nothing on 2. Oh, 2 seems to be stuck down. That's okay. Nothing on 3. 2's come back up. Nothing on 4. Nothing on 5. Nothing. A little click on 6 maybe. Oh, click on 1 now. Now 2 stayed down. Nothing on 3 at all. Nothing on 4. Oh, little movement and a click on 5. Nothing on 6. Little click on 7 and keep going round. Oh, tiny movement now on pin 1. 2 stays down. Nothing on 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7. Ah, a little more on 7. And as sort of time consuming as this is, it's not particularly stressful. It's literally just go round, tapping the tops of the pins, and if they feel like they are sticking and are bound, then you just help them to get to home. Oh, and we got it. Just need to tap a few more pins, and there we are. So this is actually operating the cam at the back of the lock. And what's really interesting is these pins do not reset until you get all the way around to 180 degrees almost, which is strange. I'd expect them to go back into their other pin positions. So there you go. That is now effectively turned. You could keep on picking it should you wish to go around even further, or just flip the tool over this side and pick it all the way back. It depends on exactly what you want to do. But yeah, that's sort of it now. It's fully picked. All I need to do is just, you know, re-pick it, and it's all done. So that is the amazing Combi-Cam Ultra Lock. I really like this lock. I'm very, very grateful for Leon for sending this to me, because it's really something I like. Great to explore. And if you want to know more about this lock, you actually want to see one of these gutted, taken apart, see all the internals, the wheels, everything on the inside, then I will again leave a link to a video of Potty314, Potty Pie's videos where he does exactly that. He guts the whole thing and takes through exactly how it works, and you know, it's really, really interesting. So please do go check out that video. Anyway, thank you for letting me show you this. Hopefully I'll see you next time. Bye bye.